Definition of ransomware, what it is and why it is so dangerous. Read the guide and discover the definition of ransomware in all its facets, what it is, why it is such an effective attack method and how you can protect your organization from this danger. What is ransomware? Definition. Ransomware is an advanced form of cyberattack and one of the threats that security teams around the world face most frequently. Ransomware is used to attack all organizations, from small computers to large enterprises, from cities to government networks. While simple in concept, ransomware is extremely malicious. It has the potential to cripple networks and cause catastrophic damage to infrastructure. In fact, it is a type of malware that, once downloaded to a device, encrypts or deletes all data until a ransom is paid to restore it. It is said that in 2020 there was a ransomware attack every 14 seconds, figures that, it is estimated, will drop in 2021. Forecasts speak of an attack every 11 seconds. One of the most famous ransomware attacks is WannaCry. WannaCry infected more than 230,000 computers in 150 companies in a single day, encrypted all the files found on the devices and required users to pay $300 in bitcoins to restore them. The alternative is, pay the ransom or decide not to give in to blackmail and contact a company that can remove the ransomware and decrypt the files. WannaCry primarily affected large organizations. The National Health Service in the UK was one of the highest profile targets. Surprisingly, the impact of the attack was less than assumed. It was stopped relatively quickly and did not target important infrastructure such as railroads or nuclear power plants. Still, the attack resulted in millions of dollars in economic losses. Recently, 23 Texas cities were hit by ransomware attacks in which attackers demanded $2.5 million. Ransomware is a type of attack that is particularly prevalent in financial organizations. 90% have suffered an attack in the last year. How does ransomware work? Ransomware is activated by downloading malicious software onto an endpoint device, such as a computer, laptop or cell phone. Typically, this process is initiated due to user error and ignorance of security risks. A very common method by which malware is spread is through phishing attacks. The attacker attaches an infected document or URL to an email and masks it as secure to trick users into opening it to install the malware on the device. Equally popular is the use of a type of virus called a Trojan horse. In this case, the ransomware masquerades as legitimate software, thus infecting devices after users install it. File encryption. Ransomware usually works very fast. In a matter of seconds, the malware will take control of the device's critical process and look for files to encrypt, which means that all the data it contains will be encrypted while the ransomware will probably delete any files it cannot encrypt. The ransomware will infect any other hard drives or USB devices connected to the host machine. Any new devices or files added to the infected device will also be encrypted after this point. Then, the virus will start sending signals to all other devices on the network to try to infect them as well. The whole process happens extremely fast and in a few minutes the device will display a message similar to this one. This is the message displayed by users who have been infected with the WannaCry ransomware attack. This is a form of cyber blackmail, in which users are notified that their files are locked and if a payment is not made, they will be deleted. Payments in Bitcoin are likely to be required, as this virtual countdown, which serves to pressure companies to act quickly and pay the ransom to the attackers. There are several types of ransomware. Some threaten to make encrypted data public, which is extremely dangerous for companies that need to protect corporate or customer data. Another form involves scareware, which floods the computer with pop-ups and demands a ransom to fix the problem following the same principle. A malicious program infects the computer and a payment is required to remove it. Why is ransomware so effective? As we just mentioned, ransomware can be extremely damaging to businesses. First of all, they have to deal with the loss of files and data that are the result of hard work, or customer data that are essential to the smooth running of their organization. It adds to the loss of productivity, as the machines will be unusable. According to Kaspersky, in most cases, it takes organizations at least a week to recover their data. Last, but definitely not least, is the financial loss of replacing infected machines, paying an IT company to remediate the attack and putting protection in place to prevent it from happening again. For these reasons, many companies feel they have no choice but to pay the ransom, although it is highly recommended not to do so, especially since it does not guarantee data decryption. Ransomware generates more than $25 million in revenue for hackers each year, demonstrating how effective it is at extorting organizations. Ransomware targets human weaknesses. By targeting people with phishing attacks, attackers can bypass traditional security technologies with ransomware. Email is a weak point in many companies' security infrastructure, and hackers can exploit it by using phishing emails to trick users into opening malicious files. Hackers attack human error by tricking them into inadvertently downloading malicious files. The main problem here is the lack of awareness of security threats on the part of most users. Many people are unaware of the type of threat they may encounter, let alone what practices they should avoid on the network, or even what file to download or open on the internet or in emails. This lack of security awareness helps ransomware spread much faster. Lack of strong technological defenses. Ransomware attacks are growing at a record high, and attackers are developing increasingly sophisticated malware. Many companies lack the strong defenses needed to block these attacks because they can be costly and complicated to deploy and use. Executives are often convinced of the need for strong security defenses only when it is too late and systems have already been compromised. Outdated hardware and software. In addition to lacking strong defenses against attacks, many organizations rely too heavily on outdated hardware and software, and over time, attackers discover security vulnerabilities. Technology companies often deploy security updates, but not all organizations have a way to verify that they are installing them. Several organizations also rely heavily on older machines that are no longer supported, which means they are open to vulnerabilities. This is one of the main reasons why the WannaCry virus has been so successful. It has targeted many large organizations such as the NHS, most of which use decades-old machines with operating systems that are no longer compatible with updates. The exploit used by WannaCry to infect systems was discovered 2 months before the attack and was fixed by Microsoft. However, devices were not updated, and so the attack spread. Ransomware solutions: which one to adopt? The answer is simple. The best way for businesses to stop ransomware attacks is to take a proactive approach to security and ensure they have effective protections in place before ransomware can infect systems. Reliable antivirus protection for endpoints. One of the most efficient ways to stop ransomware is to have a good endpoint security solution. These solutions are installed on devices and prevent any malware from infecting systems. They also give administrators the ability to see when devices have been compromised and ensure that security updates have been installed. These solutions can help protect against malicious downloads and can alert users when they visit dangerous websites. Of course, these systems are not guaranteed to be 100% effective, as cybercriminals are always looking to create new malware that can bypass security tools. This remains a crucial step to effectively protect malware. Inbound and outbound email security. Because ransomware is commonly sent via email, email security is critical to stopping ransomware. Email scanning technologies filter communications by enabling defenses for URLs and using the isolated attachment space to identify threats and block their delivery to users. This step can prevent ransomware from reaching endpoint devices and prevent users from inadvertently installing ransomware on their device. Ransomware is also commonly distributed through phishing. Email gateways can block phishing attacks, but there are also post-delivery protection technologies that use automatic storage and artificial intelligence algorithms to detect phishing attacks and display warning signs within emails to notify technologies. DNS web filtering solutions prevent users from visiting dangerous websites and downloading malicious files. This helps block virus downloads that spread ransomware, including Trojans that disguise malware as legitimate commercial software. DNS filters can also block malicious third-party advertisements. Web filters should be configured to aggressively block threats and prevent users from visiting dangerous or unknown domains. The use of isolation can also be an important tool for blocking ransomware downloads. Isolation technologies completely eliminate threats by isolating browsing activity on secure servers and showing users a safe representation. In this way, ransomware can be prevented as any malware runs in the protected space and does not reach users. The main benefit of isolation is that it does not affect the user experience in any way, offering high security effectiveness with a seamless browsing experience. Security awareness training. Staff within your organization can be your worst security breach. In recent years there is a tremendous growth of platforms that are concerned with creating awareness of the security issue, educating users about the risks they run when using the internet at work and at home. Proper training helps to make users aware of the threats lurking in email or on the web in general. As a result, they will be aware of the best security practices to follow to stop ransomware, such as making sure your endpoints are updated with the latest security software. Security training courses also often offer phishing simulation technologies. This means that administrators can create customized simulated phishing emails and send them to employees to test how effective they can be. An ideal way to visualize the effectiveness of security across your organization and is a useful tool for identifying those employees who may need further training and procedures that enable them to stop the spread of ransomware. Data backup and restoration. If the ransomware attack was successful and your data was compromised, the best way to proceed is to quickly restore the data you need and minimize downtime. The best way to protect your data is to make sure it is backed up in multiple locations, including the primary storage area, on local disks and on a continuity service at cloud. In the event of a ransomware attack, backing up your data is guaranteed to mitigate the loss of any encrypted files and restore the functionality of your systems. Cloud's best-of-breed data backup and recovery platforms enable companies to recover data in the event of a disaster, are available at any time and can easily integrate with Cloud's existing applications and end devices, creating a secure and stable global cloud infrastructure. Backing up and restoring data on cloud are essential tools for both preventing ransomware and undoing the damage it causes. Conclusion: don't let ransomware damage your organization. By following the steps above, you can start protecting your business from malicious ransomware attacks. If you would like more help finding out how to protect yourself from ransomware, contact us.